Hey, human family, how are you? It's Darren. Welcome to another episode of Fully Alive Again. You guys, today I'd like to talk about one major thing that a narcissist hates. And I want to use Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's trial, which is really, when it comes to narcissism and analyzing narcissism, is the gift that just keeps on giving. But I want to use Amber's last testimonial to really illustrate one of the things that a narcissist hates the most. So let's do what we do and dive deep.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after these years.
Gandhi stated, "It is wrong and immoral to seek to escape the consequences of one's acts." This is exactly what Amber Heard did during her last testimonial. She tried to escape the consequences of her actions. She played the victim. You see, accountability to a narcissist is like kryptonite to Superman. It is what they fear the most. One of the things that I find most enjoyable about the Johnny Depp trial is that you're witnessing a covert narcissist female being held accountable by the court system and by the lawyers and by Johnny Depp. Win or lose, there is accountability. She's been exposed. And this rarely happens. You see, one of the most troubling things about narcissism is that the actual perpetrators, the predators, are rarely held accountable. Yet they scream and cry for compassion and empathy when they're exposed. Amber does not deserve the compassion of a sentient human being. If she were to take ownership for her evil deeds and confess that there is something internally wrong with her and that she is a malicious, destructive, toxic human being, compassion and empathy would certainly be warranted. But how do you expect, in terms of talking to a narcissist, and I know some narcissists are listening, how do you expect people to treat you when you're trying to cause harm to them? When everyone you make contact with, you feel that you have a right to harm and to hurt, and you turn around and expect people to act accordingly and to feel sorry for you and to have compassion and empathy for you after doing such horrible things to people. You'll see in the upcoming footage, she says Johnny's having a good time in court and he's not taking her pain very seriously. Are you effing kidding me? Why in God's name would he allow you, in terms of the predator, the abuser, to dictate how he feels and what he should do? These people are so intractable and so delusional about how they expect other people to treat them when they try to end a person's life, livelihood, and existence. They are trying to get you to kill yourself. They are trying to ruin you. They are trying to orchestrate your demise and have the audacity to wonder why you have no empathy and compassion. And I will say this over and over again. You are no less of a good person for not having empathy and compassion towards a parasitic, evil abuser like these people are. You should not feel any different about yourself. They warrant a different code of ethics and morality. If you've been following this trial over the last week, at the end of the trial, you heard some very salacious statements from Johnny Depp on his text messages, where he was just saying the unthinkable. but he didn't do the unthinkable like they do. See, this is where the world of psychology and religion really turn a blind eye to reality, and I think intentionally, because narcissists have injected their philosophies into psychology, into religion, to help protect their behavior and the narcissist culture and their need for narcissistic supply. Anything that human beings have touched has been tainted. I don't care what it is. These people have been around since the dawn of time. Now, Johnny said some things that are no less than vulgar. They were very salacious, aggressive, and about as bad as they can be when it comes to the human language. What would you expect a man to say to a woman who he was in love with, he thought, that was on his side, a woman that he was married to, the woman that he was trying to do everything he could for, is trying to ruin him and spreading these vicious lies about him? When someone is trying to kill you, should you give them a bouquet of roses? When someone is trying to destroy everything you are and everything you have, how in God? But he did not act upon them. If you've watched this trial and heard some of the audio tapes from their phone conversations, he did the polar opposite of trying to harm this woman. He did everything he could to convey to her that if we go down this road, we are both going to experience a lot of trauma and difficulty. After the divorce, during the divorce creed, it was amicable between the two of them. No one is guilty of any kind of bad stuff. Here's $7 million. I'll help you with your charities. Go your own way and get away from me. Let's end this. But being a Luciferian agent of chaos, she had to dig her claws into more activity, more nefarious activity. And that's exactly what she did. And that has resulted in all that she's crying about in her last statement. So in the next couple of clips, I want to show you first Johnny trying to prevent this trial from happening in a phone conversation, pleading with her that they need not go any further. They can do this without the lawyers and without doing this in public. Number two, is Amber's crying on the stand about just how bad the world and social media and people are treating her, how it's just unfair. It's not unfair, it's just. It's just. Rest assured, in my own personal life, I'm going to inject this from my own personal life. If my ex-wife was a man and did the things that she did to my daughter, she would not be breathing. I put that before God. No one is going to abuse my daughter at the level of this woman did and not have consequences if the court doesn't take care of it first. There are levels that you take people into primal energy. That's what these people do. If the world could see what this woman did to her own flesh and blood, and just how evil and sick and destructive and insidious as this shit is, they would fall out of their seats. There's been no justice till this day. This is what is so good about this trial, is that you're seeing a man who stood up and said enough is enough and fought a good fight, win or lose. She's been exposed and she's upset about the backlash from that exposure. All right, so let's take a listen to first Johnny he's come to the conclusion that she didn't hear a word that he said about not going to trial, and what happens there And then we'll come back and address that. And then we'll get into Amber's last statement on the stand. All right, you guys? I hope that made sense.
Okay, listen.
Every step of the way.
All right, listen. Here's the. All right, fine. You believe what you believe. I'm gonna call to these people. I'm gonna take care of this. See what the fuck is going on. I will get back to you. Otherwise, listen. As far as I can tell right now, it sounds like you want to go to court and you want to fuck this up real bad.
I just want to clear my name. I've been telling all the lawyers this from the beginning, and your lawyers knew this.
You cannot clear up your name now.
Don't let them lie to you. Don't let them lie to you. I have said only this from the very beginning. I only have my integrity. And the unfortunate thing is
what about mine?
I need to step further.
What about mine?
Why, if you wanted it private, is TMZ being fed information literally by Laura Walker and Marty Singer every step of the way? My DD, my arrest record. What's next in the media? The rumors that I was a stripper. Of course I can expect that next. I've known every step of the way, every single step of the way, everything you'd give them. You don't think
I'd give them. I'd give them. That's it. I'd give them. I'll see you in court. No, I'll fucking see you in court. I will fucking see you in court.
Because he's a sentient human being, in my opinion, he didn't want to go to court. He wanted to end this stuff behind the scenes, save them both a lot of time and money, and go on with their life. That's why he handled the divorce like he did. Everything was copacetic. But being an Luciferian agent of chaos, Amber acted accordingly and decided to bring huge amount of embarrassment to both herself and Johnny, to waste a tremendous amount of resources, because that's what chaos is. And that's what an agent of chaos does. It's not rocket science. They cannot help themselves because that's what their heart and spirit are made of. So let's hear what Amber had to say, then take a close look at what she actually did. Because again, with the narcissists, if their mouth is moving, they're telling you a lie. They're trying to create some type of storyline for their own little fantasy world of their logical fallacy that they live in.
And I truly thought, I need to stop this madness before I get hurt.
Oh my God.
And I never think about myself that way. I never defend myself that way. I never see myself as a victim. And to a fault, you know?
Come on, man. Are you high? Are you high? Come on, man. Come on, man. She never sees herself as a victim. And so much so that she's at fault for that. I just take on everything and take responsibility for things I don't even do, for circumstances that I don't deserve. And she does it so much that it's a fault. Do you see how
2,000 years later.
fucking crazy these people are? Now let's take a look at actually what she does, not what she says.
I am harassed, humiliated, threatened every single day. Even just walking into this courtroom, sitting here in front of the world, having the worst parts of my life, things I've lived through, used to humiliate me. People want to kill me, and they tell me so every day. People want to put my baby in the microwave. Every single day, I have to relive the trauma. My hands shake. I wake up screaming. I have to live with the trauma and the damage done to me. My friends have to live with a set of unspoken rules about how to not scare me.
If anything on earth is ever going to change a narcissist's behavior, it's going to be accountability. and exposure. That's it. And accountability has consequences. You don't get to hide and keep doing what you're doing.
From what I've lived through, from what I've survived, I'm not sitting in this courtroom snickering. I'm not sitting in this courtroom laughing, smiling, and making snide jokes. I'm not. This is horrible. This is painful. And this is humiliating for any human being to go through. And perhaps it's easy to forget that, but I'm a human being. And even though Johnny promised that I deserve this and promised he'd do this, I don't deserve this. I want to move on.
Now, did you see that was nothing but victimology? The Victim Olympics? I want to move on. You heard earlier Johnny begging her not to go forth with this trial. Let's handle this. Everything was copacetic, as I said earlier, but being an agent of chaos, she had to continue. You are not witnessing a victim. I know as an empath, as a sentient human being, as a decent human being, when you see a person say those things and they're crying like that, it is our nature to go, well, give her a break. Let's not. No! You're giving her a break so she can go abuse that baby that she has. We are too lenient and too nice on these types of people. And they've been screaming at us since the dawn of time. We are evil beings. This is who we are. And they laugh at our forgiveness. They laugh at the compassion she's begging for. And then they find a new victim or the same victim and cause unimaginable pain to the human person that hasn't gone through narcissistic abuse. They have no idea the destruction and what these people do. Johnny Depp was not bullshitting when he said he almost had a nervous breakdown and he was close to the end of his life. This shit almost ended me. It almost ended you. We know what's going on. We cannot be suckers to this kind of tears and crying. The rest of the world says, well, she is human. That's debatable. Biologically, by the flesh, and her physiology is human, but the rest of that is debatable. You know, unless we're going to categorize two different types of human, in my opinion. Doesn't mean that we abuse them and inflict upon them the same type of abuse that they've done to us. But as far as treating them like they're a sentient human being, absolutely not. Absolutely not. She is, how would you treat a person that's trying to murder you in a slow process, to slow cook you to death? Death by 1,000 paper cuts, to enjoy and savor your pain, your suffering, your confusion, all of the things that they do. It doesn't warrant compassion. And we should feel perfectly fine not having that compassion and empathy for these people. I know this sounds bad, what I'm saying, to many people, that it sounds like lack of empathy and compassion. I have empathy and compassion for her baby. That if you show her empathy and compassion, do you honestly believe that Amber Heard is going to be a good mother to that child? Are we that gullible as a society to think that that's why she's asking, that's why they started the trial with her. You're a mother, aren't you? Yes, I have a 1-year-old. Oh, there's a shield, another barrier to holding her accountable. She's a mother. Gotta treat her with kid gloves. Do you honestly believe this woman is going to do right by that child? You and I know as well as anybody else, if you have an inch of integrity and a sincerity in what you're thinking, you know this woman is going to cause massive damage, pain, and suffering to that child, and wants us to give her compassion right now. F that. Hell to the no. I am not the one. This person can't get right. She is not going to be able to mother that child, but I'm digressing. My point here is, you guys, don't feel bad when you don't feel bad for a human predator, for a Luciferian agent of chaos, once you know that that's who and what they are. You know that through your intuition. You know that from all that you've gone through. Let them have whatever accountability they have coming to them. And accountability is not always fun. It is not always nice. Don't be hard on yourself for not having compassion and empathy for these caliber of people. That's the takeaway of today's show. And I do have an open mind. I could be wrong about my hypothesis, about my beliefs and philosophy on all of this. And if you feel on the contrary, enlighten me. My mind is open. I will read your comments, and I will take away good information and grow from it if it's there. If you're willing to teach, I'm willing to learn. And if you agree with me, let me know that. Share your comments on why you agree, what your experience has. This really helps all of the visitors that come through and read the comments. And feel free to ask me anything if you have a show topic or any other thoughts that you may have when it comes to narcissism. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the bell. I know I'm a bit capricious in my uploads lately. That's all going to change. I'm learning a new software, developing some new tools and strategies. And within the next few weeks, especially after the live show, there should be consistent dates for uploads. And those will be posted. All right, you guys? Oh, I almost forgot. Please go to the community section on the channel and take the poll on which day and time is the best to do a live show. I'm trying to get as many of you there as possible. And it's going to be an interesting, fun time. It's also going to be a train wreck because it's going to be my first time taking calls and doing a live show. So you can expect some excitement from that. So anyway, please go there, take the poll, and let me know what the best date and time is for you. And do that ASAP if you'd be so kind. You know I've got nothing but love for you. Thanks for stopping by. And always remember, it's better to be used, abused, damaged, and destroyed by a narcissist than to be an ass clown narcissist. And if you really don't feel that, because I know we can really be in a sunken place, I want you to think of this. Would you rather be the type of ass clown narcissist and go out into the world and do what they've done to you and other people? Would you want to be that caliber of person? Could you even fathom doing that kind of shit to another human being? Of course not. So it is better to be on the receiving end of their abuse than to be the abuser. These people are rotten to the core. All right, you guys? And I'll catch you on the next video. Until then, peace. Be well.
No tears, no fears. Fully alive again after these years.